This sophisticated design approach transforms the tiny house on wheels, (THOW), from a purely practical housing solution into a sanctuary focused on deep comfort. What began as a movement primarily concerned with achieving fiscal liberty and promoting ecological stewardship has matured into an intricate design philosophy that seamlessly marries streamlined minimalism with the celebrated Danish concept of hygge. Fundamentally, hygge, pronounced with a soft hygge, represents the intentional cultivation of comfort, contentment, and overall well-being through the mindful appreciation of life's unpretentious pleasures. This powerful cultural import, when applied to a mobile residence, yields an environment that is not only supremely adaptable and structurally sound, but also profoundly restorative and emotionally secure. The inherent constraint of the THOW's limited footprint is ingeniously leveraged, allowing the compact dimensions to naturally intensify the feeling of being nestled within a safe, warm, and highly intimate refuge, thereby serving as the optimal container for a hygge-centric way of life. This deliberate design methodology successfully challenges the frequent misconception that minimalism must be cold or Spartan, ensuring that inhabiting a small space becomes an experience, rich in sensory enjoyment rather than a harsh exercise in near subtraction. Achieving the sought-after clean design within the challenging parameters of a THOW necessitates an absolute dedication to aesthetic simplicity and maximum utility. A foundational palette of neutral colors is non-negotiable for success. Carefully selected shades such as brilliant whites, tranquil soft grays, and the warm lightness of pale wood grains are strategically utilized because they effectively manipulate perception, significantly expanding the visual scope of the space while ensuring natural light penetration is at its peak. This carefully curated, clean background actively prevents the confined quarters from ever feeling overburdened or visually turbulent. Every single fixture, furniture piece, and accessory must rigorously justify its permanent inclusion. Sleep platforms are often engineered to ascend and disclose vast concealed storage compartments. Dining surfaces are designed to smoothly fold and recess against a wall, and the staircases granting access to lofted areas are cunningly built as fully integrated units of shelving and drawers. More than mere decoration, the architectural placement of generous windows and strategically located skylights is absolutely crucial. They not only drench the interior in daylight but also work to dissolve the boundary between the interior living space and the surrounding landscape. This intentional, unwavering link to the outdoor world is a critical component, essential for counteracting any sense of entrapment and reinforcing the deep-seated, tranquil ethos at the core of hygge. The all-important hygge vibes are masterfully woven into the environment by thoughtfully layering diverse textures and rich warmth atop the fundamental, crisp, minimalist structure. Where the underlying clean design establishes the essential framework, the concept of hygge imparts the emotional spirit. Surfaces that are inherently hard or sleek are immediately made inviting through a selection of soft, tactile elements, which might include heavy-gauge knitted blankets, luxurious faux fur area rugs, soft linen window coverings, and deeply plush throw cushions. Furthermore, the purposeful incorporation of authentic natural wood finishes frequently sourced from reclaimed material or treated with a light seal across ceilings, wall panels, or kitchen counters introduces a distinct organic, stabilizing warmth that is instantly welcoming. Arguably, the most transformative element for injecting hygge into a tiny space is the sophisticated management of illumination. Intense, direct overhead lighting is strictly avoided. Instead, the strategy focuses on deploying multiple, distinct sources of soft, diffused ambient light. This system includes small, dedicated task lamps, adjustable reading wall sconces, and delicate strings of decorative lights. Most significantly, the mesmerizing, gentle dance of candlelight or high-quality, warm-toned LED substitutes is employed to generate that signature, profoundly comforting golden luminosity that effortlessly transcends the utilitarian atmosphere of a mere dwelling and creates a truly restorative domestic experience, subtly yet powerfully inviting residents to consciously decelerate and cherish the present moment. The evolution of the tiny house on wheels as has transformed it far beyond a simple housing alternative. recasting it instead as a dedicated refuge dedicated to profound personal comfort. This metamorphosis began when the pragmatic quest for monetary freedom and a deeper commitment to environmental preservation seamlessly fused with Scandinavian design brilliance, specifically the celebrated philosophy of hygge. Pronounced hygge, hygge is essentially an intentional practice of fostering tranquility, satisfaction, and deep emotional security through the mindful appreciation of life's most accessible joys. Infusing this powerful Danish cultural concept into a transportable dwelling creates an environment that is not only incredibly flexible and structurally robust, but also uniquely capable of being emotionally grounding and profoundly therapeutic. The restrictive size inherent to the THOW's compact structure becomes a remarkable asset. Its snug dimensions naturally amplify the sensation of being safely cocooned within a remarkably private and intensely intimate space, positioning the tiny house as the ultimate vehicle for a lifestyle rooted in hygge. This intentional design framework expertly dismantles the common preconception that true minimalist living must be cold or devoid of character, guaranteeing that inhabiting a small volume becomes an experience rich with sensory fulfillment rather than a demanding process of material sacrifice. To successfully execute the clean design mandate within the challenging spatial economy of a thou demands an uncompromising commitment to visual simplicity coupled with ingenious spatial efficiency. Central to this success is the adoption of a non-negotiable, foundational neutral color scheme. Designers primarily leverage thoughtfully chosen hues such as brilliant snow whites, calming silvery grays, and the inviting pale wash of natural wood grain. These shades are strategically deployed to maximize perceived depth and ensure that daylight penetration reaches every corner. This deliberate, refined backdrop is paramount in preventing the small interior from ever feeling visually overwhelming or claustrophobic. Furthermore, the inclusion of every piece of hardware, furnishing, or accessory is subjected to a rigorous functional audit. Sleeping areas are frequently engineered on hydraulic systems to lift and expose cavernous hidden storage below. Dining solutions are cunningly crafted to pivot and completely disappear flush into the walls, and the necessary stairs accessing sleeping lofts are brilliantly built as fully dedicated units of integrated cabinetry. Far from being a mere decorative element, the strategic integration of expansive windows and thoughtfully placed overhead skylights is absolutely essential. They not only saturate the interior with illumination, but also function to dissolve the perceptual barrier separating the home from its exterior environment. This deep, consistent visual connection to the surrounding world is a critical requirement, playing a vital role in mitigating any feeling of confinement and solidifying the placid, mindful principles that define the hygge ethos. The desired hygge vibes are masterfully achieved by meticulously overlaying various textures and substantial warmth upon the underlying foundation of sharp, clean minimalism. If the underlying structure provides the architectural skeleton, then the spirit of hygge contributes the emotional core. Surfaces that might otherwise appear unyielding or sleek are instantly softened through a curated selection of comforting, highly tactile materials. These include heavily woven or cable-knit throws, dense faux fur accents on floors, flowing natural linen window dressings, and deeply cushioned toss pillows. An additional layer of coziness is introduced through the deliberate use of authentic timber finishes often featuring reclaimed character or a delicately sealed surface applied to architectural elements like ceiling beams, select wall areas, or kitchen surfaces, which imparts an immediate sense of organic, stabilizing welcome. Yet, perhaps the single most impactful element for imbuing a tiny space with hygge is the sophisticated orchestration of artificial light. Intrusive, direct overhead light is systematically avoided. Instead, the method relies on strategically placing multiple independent sources of soft, diffused ambient lighting,